In the heart of Nigeria, lush with rich greenery, lay the village of Umudim. Life here unfolded in a rhythm set by the rising and setting sun, where traditions whispered ancient wisdom and the spirits of ancestors danced in the rustling leaves. It was in this village that the story of the Adewale twins, Taye and Kehinde, unfolded, a tale woven with the threads of fate, character, and the enigmatic workings of the universe. Taye and Kehinde were born under a full moon, their arrival celebrated with joyous drum beats and ululations that echoed through the village. From the moment they took their first breaths, their paths diverged like two streams branching from the same source. Taye, the elder by a mere 3 minutes, possessed a gentle spirit and a heart that overflowed with kindness. He would often help the elderly gather firewood or assist the village storyteller in painting vivid tales with his words. Kehinde, on the other hand, was as mischievous as a monkey, his grin quick and his eyes brimming with schemes. He would often disappear for hours into the thickets, emerging with stories of escapades that left the village elders shaking their heads in a mix of exasperation and begrudging admiration. Despite their differences, the twins shared a bond that seemed unbreakable until fate decided otherwise. It was a day like any other when news spread like wildfire through Umudim. A precious bag of cowries with great significance to the gods of the land had been stolen from the shrine of the village chief. Suspicion immediately fell upon Kehinde, whose reputation for mischief had painted him as the village rogue. Desperate to escape the consequences of his actions, Kehinde devised a cunning plan. With a practiced innocence that belied his guilt, he pointed the accusing finger at Taye. The village convened under the shade of the ancient baobab tree, its massive trunk a silent witness to generations of disputes settled and justice upheld. Voices rose and fell like the wind through the leaves as accusations flew and defenses were mounted. In the end, unable to unravel the truth from the tangle of lies, the elders turned to the ultimate arbiters, the gods. "It is decreed," announced the village chief solemnly, "that both Taye and Kehinde shall be taken to the evil forest. There, the gods will decide their fate. If innocence is their shield, they shall return unharmed. If guilt taints their hearts, the forest shall claim them." And so it was that the twins, bound by fate but divided by deeds, were led into the depths of the evil forest. The air thickened with a palpable sense of foreboding as they ventured further from the familiar paths of Umudim into the hearts of darkness where even the bravest dared not tread. Taye walked with a heavy heart, his thoughts swirling like leaves in a storm. He knew he was innocent, but fear gnawed at his resolve. Ahead, Kehinde strutted with false bravado, his mind already concocting plans for escape should the need arise. As the forest enveloped them in its eerie silence, each step brought them closer to the moment of truth as their paths diverged. It was then, just as despair threatened to drown them in its icy grip, that fate intervened once more in the guise of an old woman. Bent with age and draped in a tattered shawl, she appeared before each twin separately, her presence both airy and strangely comforting. "I have seen your paths diverged," she croaked, her voice carrying the weight of centuries. "Choose wisely, for the pots before you hold the key to your destiny." Before Taye lay 3 clay pots, each of different sizes. The size of the largest was so tempting and suggestive of riches that the smallest seemed almost insignificant in comparison. Instinctively, Tai's hand reached for the smallest pot, its humble presence resonating with his sense of fairness. "I choose this one," he said softly, meeting the old woman's gaze with unwavering certainty. The old woman nodded approvingly, her eyes twinkling with a wisdom that transcended mortal understanding. "May your heart guide you well, young one," she said. Meanwhile, Kehinde stood before his own set of pots, his eyes greedily fixed on the largest among them. Without hesitation, he snatched it up, a triumphant grin stretching across his face. "This one," he declared, his voice laced with a greed that mirrored the depths of his soul. The old woman's expression remained inscrutable as she let him have the pot, her gnarled fingers tracing patterns in the dust. "May you find what you seek, young one," she said. With that, the twins were led back to the village, their burdens now carried within the fragile vessels they clutched in trembling hands. The journey home was fraught with silence, each step measured against the weight of uncertainty that hung heavy in the air. As Umudim came into view, its thatched roofs and smoke-stained hearths, a testament to lives unchanged by the twins' ordeal, hope flickered like a frail flame in the darkness. Upon their return, the village awaited the unveiling of their destinies with bated breath. Kehinde, emboldened by the promise of wealth whispered by the pot's silent embrace, wasted no time in prying open its lid. But instead of gold and jewelries, a swarm of biting insects burst forth, their angry hum drowning out Kehinde's cries of dismay. In his greed, he had sealed his fate, the forest's verdict rendered in a torrent of misfortune that left him wandering lost, forever exiled from the warmth of Umudim's embrace. Meanwhile, Tai approached his family home with a heart heavy with longing and hope. As his fingers traced the contours of the smallest pot, he hesitated, uncertain of what lay within. With a prayer whispered on his lips, he lifted the lid, his breath catching in wonder at the sight that greeted him. Within the humble vessel lay riches beyond measure, glittering coins and shimmering gems that mirrored the stars above. Tears of joy streamed down Tai's cheeks as he embraced his bewildered parents, the village gathering around them in a circle of celebration. For in that moment, the gods had spoken through the vessels chosen, affirming Tai's innocence and illuminating the path that led him back to the heart of Umudim, where forgiveness flowed as freely as the waters of the nearby river. And so, the tale of the Adewale twins echoed through the hills and valleys of Umudim, a testament to the enduring power of character and the capricious whims of fate. In Tai, the village found a hero whose humility and integrity had been tested and proven true. In Kehinde, they saw a cautionary tale, a reminder that the greatest treasures are often found in the smallest acts of kindness and the noblest of intentions. As seasons turned and years passed, the story of the twins became woven into the fabric of Umudim's lore, whispered by storytellers under the flickering glow of evening fires, and in the hearts of its people, the lessons learned endured, a beacon of light guiding them through the ever-shifting currents of life, where choices made and paths chosen held the power to shape destinies yet untold. Did you enjoy the story? Please comment your thoughts below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.